Hello, welcome to the second part of the drug affecting the calcium metabolism. And in this part, we are going to talk about the various drugs useful in osteoporosis. So, what is osteoporosis? The word derives from the Latin, it means the porous bone. Bone become very fragile and weak because of loss of minerals. Let's see which are the drugs useful in the treatment of osteoporosis. First and foremost, calcium and vitamin D, about which we have already learned. Then, second most important drug is bisphosphonate, riloxafen, teriparatide and abaloparatide, two monoclonal antibodies, denosumab and romosozumab, and strontium ranelate. Let's see one by one. We have already talked about vitamin D and calcium, so let's start with bisphosphonates. The name of this drug ends with the dronate. Alendronate, risendronate, risedronate, and zoledronate. Out of these, alendronate and risedronate are orally effective, whereas zoledronate can be given by IV route and it can be also be given once a year IV injection. Mechanism. The main mechanism of this drug is they inhibit the osteoclast. So, these are the osteoclasts normally with the tooth and ready to attack the bone, hit the bone and release the calcium. And this is the osteoclast after giving bisphosphonate. They become toothless, their rupple surface is gone and they become inactive. What basically happens is these bisphosphonates have high affinity for the calcium. When osteoclast is doing a bone eating, there is a liquefied calcium and acidic material available below the osteoclast surface. Bisphosphonate gets released in this area and it is phagocytosed by osteoclast, and then it leads to apoptosis and inactivation of the osteoclast. So overall effect is osteoclast, which is the bone eating cell, get inactivated and there occurs inhibition of the bone resorption. Uses. They are drug of choice for any type of osteoporosis. Maybe osteoporosis due to senile, postmenopausal osteoporosis, or due to steroid. In all type of osteoporosis, when pharmacotherapy has to start, the bisphosphonates are first choice drug. They are also drug of choice for hypercalcemia of malignancy. Hypercalcemia of malignancy occur because many malignancies metastasize in the bone and they start stimulating the osteoclast. So osteoclast will eat the bone and keep releasing the calcium. So this leads to hypercalcemia of malignancy. Giving the bisphosphonate will inhibit this osteoclast and will be helpful in hypercalcemia of malignancy. They are also drug of choice in Behçet disease. Now, side effect. Most common side effect is esophageal irritation, and this occurs due to the gastroesophageal reflux. So, what to do? Well, the drug has to be given on empty stomach. If the stomach is empty, chances of regurgitation is very less. Second, drug has to be given with the full glass of water. That leads to dilution of the drug as well as rapid movement of the drug down the GI tract. Third, patient should be instructed not to lie down for minimum of 30 minutes after consuming a drug. So, because in lying down position, chances of gastroesophageal reflux is high. Another side effect is osteonecrosis of mandible, and renal toxicity is particularly common with zoledronate. So these are the very important side effects of the bisphosphonate: esophagitis, osteonecrosis of mandible, and renal toxicity. So we have seen vitamin D and calcium, and we have seen bisphosphonate. Other drugs: raloxifene, teriparatide, abaloparatide, denosumab, romosozumab, and strontium relinate. Let's see one by one. Raloxifene. As you have already learned raloxifene in the chapter of the estrogen and progesterone, that it is SERM. That means selective estrogen receptor modulator. In the postmenopausal woman, osteoporosis is common, and estrogen has protective effect on the bone. So to take advantage of this protective effect, estrogen was started as a hormone replacement therapy for the osteoporosis, but it was found that this benefit comes at the cost of the cancer. It also promotes certain cancer. So from the estrogen we want beneficial effect of the bone protection, but we do not want the cancer effect. So modified drug was made that it only stimulates certain part of the estrogen but does not stimulate other parts of the estrogen. That is how SERM come into the market. Particular SERM, raloxifene, is useful in osteoporosis. Main indication is in the postmenopausal osteoporosis. In particular type of this osteoporosis, it is useful. Teriparatide and abaloparatide we have already discussed in last lecture. They are PTH analog, contains first 34 amino acid sequence of the parathyroid hormone, and in severe cases they are useful. They are given as a one set day dosing. Their half-life is only 1 to 2 hours, so it provides effect like intermittent parathyroid hormone. And overall effect is new bone formation. Now, next to drug is monoclonal antibodies. They are called monoclonal because they are clone of the some common antibody producing cell. So they have common structure and they produce common effect. Though the name of both of them are monoclonal antibodies, their effect is different, their mechanism is totally different. Let's see one by one. First, denosumab. To understand the effect of denosumab, let's understand how bone cycle works. This is the osteoclast. This osteoclast expresses something called rank receptor for activated nuclear factor kappa B. So this rank receptor, when expressed, they need to bind with the rank ligand. PTH stimulates the formation of rank ligand, and this rank ligand binds with the osteoclast rank receptor. And this binding leads to activation of osteoclast, and osteoclast now become activated with the ruffle surface and start producing bone resorption. So basically this rank receptor is what is responsible for osteoclast activation. If we can inhibit this rank receptor, we can achieve the inhibition of the osteoclast. So it is done by denosumab. It targets the rank ligand. It binds with the rank ligand and does not allow rank ligand to combine with the rank receptor. So overall effect is osteoclast is no more activated and ultimately they become inactive. This is how it prevents the bone resorption. Romosozumab. It is another humanized monoclonal antibody, but its mechanism is little different. It targets something called sclerostin. Sclerostin is a protein which is doing a thing which we don't like. That means it activates the osteoclast and it inhibits the osteoblast. And we want exactly opposite of this. So that is what we do with romosozumab. Romosozumab combined with the sclerostin and inhibit the sclerostin, so we can achieve the opposite effect. It combines with sclerostin and overall effect is opposite. There occurs a stimulation of osteoblast and there occurs inhibition of osteoclast. So after teriparatide and abaloparatide, this is another drug which can also stimulate the osteoblast and new bone formation. So it is also currently recommended in the severe cases as a starting treatment along with the bisphosphonate or alone. Now again, drugs useful in osteoporosis. These are all drugs we have seen. Coming to the last drug, strontium ranelate. Strontium ranelate is an organic substance and it produces both the effect, activation of osteoblast and inhibition of osteoclast. So overall, it is producing a very good effect in the osteoporosis, but it is not used routinely. It is kept as a reserve drug. Reason? Because it is highly toxic. It produces serious side effects like myocardial infarction, stroke and thromboembolism. So it is kept as a reserve drug, last resource drug in case of severe risk of fracture. So these are the drugs useful in osteoporosis. Vitamin D and calcium should be started in each and every patient. Bisphosphonate, raloxifene, teriparatide, abaloparatide, denosumab, romosozumab and strontium ranelate. Let's see how the treatment should be given. In each and every patient, vitamin D and calcium should be given along with the lifestyle modification. In every old age patient, male or female, this is required. Lifestyle modification requires strengthening exercise. Normal walking routine or swimming does not promote the bone strength. To promote the bone strength, weight bearing exercise need to be done. Apart from that, nutrition should be improved, which is rich in vitamin D and calcium. Now, even after this, if there is a higher risk of fracture, then pharmacotherapy should be started, and in that, bisphosphonate is the first choice drug to be started. Apart from bisphosphonate, if the risk fracture is very high, then teriparatide, abaloparatide, denosumab or romosozumab can also be added along with the bisphosphonate or can be started as a standalone therapy. After starting a therapy, every few years patient should be evaluated for its bone mineral density, and if the bone mineral density is adequate, then drug holiday should be given for few years, again reassessing a patient about fracture risk. So that is how treatment of osteoporosis should be done, and that is also the end of today's short lecture. Thank you.